Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very rare and very welcome review and build stream. Today, I have a unique gift, which is I finally managed to get enough courage and/or mental acuity to completely reorder my entire towel list from Deadly Caffeine. So while I'm sitting down here in my basement getting ready to build and review these minis, for you. As you can see, they have not been unpacked. I guess if you can zoom out, probably not. But regardless, I have been touting these minis for quite some time. Deadly Caffeine is a man of unique talent in France, who spends a great deal of time and a great deal of effort creating truly beautiful works of art. I'm going to be comparing these as best I can to the old Tau minis, which they are meant to replace. But the most important thing is when I made the first review of these minis, I think it was over a year ago, there was no way for anyone to get them. That has now changed. Included on this stream is a link to the price list and where you can order them. Yes, you can now buy these minis. As incredible as that may sound, it is finally time. Yes, you can buy these. So, as people generally filter in, I'm assuming anyone does, I will start cracking into these and show you all the bits from beginning to construction, at least on some of them. Now, these are eventually going to be sent off to James Wapple to be painted in a appropriate and beautiful manner. Hello, everyone who's joining in, by the way, and I hope you're having a great day, a beautiful Saturday morning. Or at least it is here in Maryland. Hopefully I'll be able to actually go out and enjoy it. So for those people who are here, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see, hear me, let me know, communicate. I just did a stream last night for, at the bare minimum, an hour of the play. I didn't even realize my audio wasn't on. It was still a lot of fun and really funny afterwards, but still, I had a good time. So, is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? I see that there are 2 people watching, but nobody is responding. Hey, what's up? No, how you doing, Sigaroth? At least somebody actually responded. So Sigaroth, since you're the first one to respond, which one do you want me to open? Do you want me to open up the escorts? Do you want me to open up the big stuff? What do you want me to look at first? Wow, 9 people. Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the review stream of Deadly Caffeines. All right, escorts. I believe the escorts, or at least some of them, are in here, So Tau escorts are notorious for being irritating as hell, both on the board and off the board. What's up, Jimbo Josh? 10? I think this is the escort group as I dump it all. Yes, it is. Okay. So I definitely spent the time to make absolutely sure that I got go by size small to big. Okay, so escorts. Smallest escorts in question would be, of course, our orcas. Now, I will say this, Caffeine did an amazing job on the orca design. They're a little bit bigger than the traditional Tau escorts. And of course they have that wonderful base. See if I can get a better zoom. There we go. There's not a lot of detail, but as you can see, very nice refined detail. It has the ion cannon. It actually looks like an ion cannon. Let me know if you guys need me to fiddle with the metals. I unfortunately do not have metals, but I have worked with them. These are about the same. There's a great deal more detail involved on these than on the original orcas. I'm trying to get it so you can get a good zoom look. There's a little bit of flash here. That's really no surprise. A little bit of a print malfunction. This is 3D printed. So also I will point out this hole is big enough for a stem. It also works very, very well for actually sitting on the grav hooks that are provided. They actually sent me extra bays. I'll be sure to show you how they rest on the actual grav hooks. But let's see if I'm trying to get a really good zoom of the detail, because the detail's phenomenal. There we go. You can actually see the turrets, the actual gun turrets, the rail guns, the two that are on the prow. The ion cannon can be clearly seen. Hey, Jonathan. Of course it does. Well, hold on. Let me see if I have an alternative. Watch me be without my tweezers. I apologize for the Zoom issues. That's actually a little bit better. Look at that. So if I just adjust it a little bit more, you'll be able to actually get a good idea of that fine detail. Now, this one does have a bit of a print malfunction. That's putty, yeah. But these are orcas. These are tiny little escorts. And just look at the fine detail involved. These are the smallest Tau escorts. These are far more detailed than the old orcas. They don't have that kind of wet concrete look of the original metal minis, which is always a good thing. I'm going to flip it over. You have your base. You have good detail on the bottom, so that I can get that detail on. I'm working on my phone, so I apologize, everybody. But that hole is also well suited for the grav hook bays on the cruiser. So these are, for a tiny escort, astoundingly well detailed. Moving on to the next escort size up, we actually are gonna go and look at the alien escort. I have actually a bunch of these. I use these for my Demiurge. So these are his generalized alien escort. So if you want to use the Demiurge fleet, these are very, very good as using as the escort, because these kind of look Demiurge-like. As you can see, they're not necessarily Tau, but they're good. They're a decent proxy for any sort of alien escort that you may want to use, especially for a rogue trader fleet. But they're very cool and very nice looking. I love these things. But they're here for the Tau. So next step up is actually the messenger, and I'm going to leave it in the bag because it should have a... no, it doesn't actually... I think he actually separated out the individual little bits. This thing actually takes a little bit of assembly, which is unusual for a escort craft. But here is the messenger. And I really want to impress on how much better this messenger looks to the original Messenger Mini. The original Messenger Mini was somewhat disappointing. It was just basically a slightly less impressive Defender. But you can see it has these nice, I'm going to use a pointer thingy. It has these nice sensor dome things. It has these ports here. Antennas go here and here. They're very, very small. Yeah, this Defender definitely looks different. It also just is beautiful. It's pretty. It's also fun to paint. So as you can see, the detail continues all around. It has these wonderful little bars. It has that single railgun turret. And in the front, there are two ports here and here where more tiny little bits go in. The messenger is, the only downside of the messenger is that it is fragile. It is very, very, very fragile, especially when you get the bits in, so be aware. But as you can see, the detail is fantastic. It has 3 of those little sensor blisters on the back, and let's flip it over onto the bottom for more detail. Now, on the bottom, there is not a lot of detail here, not to be really surprised. Most minis don't really care that much about underside detail, but still, you know, you have your 2 gun turrets there for turret value. That's nice. And of course, your stem port for when you actually need to put it onto a stem. Messenger is probably the best of the escorts, in my opinion. Oh yeah, definitely good, very good point. No, Sig, sorry, whatever. It's early, the caffeine hasn't kicked in. Very good spot for a decal, though. You'd have to flip the Mini upside down to see it. It does come with bits for the front blisters that look very similar to the sensor blisters that were on the Hammerhead and the Devilfish for the actual Tau list. I haven't actually found where those are, but I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Okay, now on to the largest of the escorts, the Defender. Now, this is the big chonky boy, and boy, oh boy, does it have a lot of detail. Look at all that. He really made a point of making it look like a tiny starship. So you have these giant engines. very akin, very in line with the original Tau Fluff, where their engines just didn't really have the effective detail efficiency of the Imperial Navy. So they're using a whole. Hey, what's up, Tenka Tsibur? I'm doing a review stream. I hope you all enjoy this. You can all watch it later if you get horribly bored of me. But as you can see, it has the what you see, what you get detail. You have your weapons batteries. You have these wonderfully huge engines. Okay, yes, I can, Jonathan. Give me one moment. For if you need something for like a size comparison, we are on escorts right now. So if you're wondering, well, how big is this by comparison? I can actually reach over right now and get a Soulforge Studios. This is a Soulforge Studios Brute Ram ship. So just for size comparison, let me zoom in just here. So Soulforge Studios Brute Ram is ever so slightly smaller, but that's to be expected. It is a smaller escort. And I'm going to have to use a lot of Soulforge Studio stuff. I do have some GW stuff for comparison, but, just for the sake of expediency and what's right next to me, here is a Savage gunship, or one of them. As you can see, the Defender is larger, which is appropriate because they were very large minis. Let me quickly dive over to my cabinet and get some escorts. Okay, so we have the two Orc comparisons. How about a Nikasar Dao by size comparison? This is a GW Nikasar Dao. Here is a GW Aconite. Yeah, the Soulforge Studio stuff is a little bit big, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And here is an Aconite by comparison. This is a GW original Aconite. Again, giving size by comparison. All Soulforge Studio stuff tends to be a little bit scaled up, but not so severely that it's actually a problem. Okay, next comparison are going to be another Soulforge Studio example, but it's a little more accurate to the actual scale of what things were. This is a Hunter, and taking you away, this is a Gladius. And these are actually the Soulforge Studio size for their, the Gladius and the Hunter are very, very approximate to the Sword and the Cobra. They're virtually the same size, just with better detail. So I hope that gives you guys a good scale comparison of the escorts. I can actually let me grab the Orca so you can get another size comparison. The Orca is roughly the size of the Cobra / Hunter, and wherever I put it. Yeah, here we go. With it's the, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. I apologize. And here is the Messenger. So obviously the Defender is bigger and chunkier, which in my opinion, again, isn't a bad thing. I don't mind the escorts being a little bit bigger because it allows actually for more detail to go onto the Mini. One of the great problems of BFG is that the escorts sometimes just too small to put good detail on. So if they're too big for you, I understand that, but I really like the additional detail. And I also like how they're bigger because they're not necessarily as advanced as a lot of the other races. So they're putting a lot more effort into a great deal more, they're putting a lot more effort into a ship that they view as an ostensible starship, but only really compares to an escort of all of the other races. Remember, this is Tau when they are at their most primitive almost, despite the fact that this fleet is astoundingly effective. Now, Deadly Caffeine was also nice enough to send me some freebies. He sent me this wonderful little transport craft, which could be used in missions. Look at that. It is beautiful. It's so cute. It's so chunky. And again, he's very nice enough to put the freaking stem hole in, which some people don't. But as you can see, it is loaded with detail. It is positively adorable. It is just so cute. So also some other stuff that he sent along, which really is handy. Bits. He sent me so many freaking bits. He was making absolutely sure that if something broke, and some of these are pretty fragile, like these heavy railgun turrets, they're fragile, and you'll see. Also, if you look at them, they look like ion cannons from 40K, which I appreciate, and from the video games, because they use the same design. Yes, it is a core voucher transport. Yeah. But they keep the same design as ion cannons and heavy railguns from the video game, which I like a lot because the original models of this design were kind of dumb looking and really didn't fit in with the Tau aesthetic. Let me just put these Space Marines away and we'll get on to the next. Okay, let me shift things aside. And thank you all for watching, by the way. I appreciate it. Let's see. I believe... okay, so you are not the right one. Here we go. Okay, so we're going on to the Messenger. Now, I'm not going to lie. I really love the Messenger, the ones that he makes, because the Messenger Cruiser, when as released, was, you know, just kind of a lump of annoying metal. Okay, so as you can see, it is coming in bits. We have the bays, we have the engines. Let's see, more bays. Just gonna dump it all out. I'm gonna be very rude to my minis. Okay, so the Messenger comes with a central spine, the engine, and if I can find the dang thing, and the prow. So... and just like any standard 40K mini, it comes with bays. Here's your gun bay. This could be, yeah, the Merchant. Yeah, my apologies. So here's the bay. Obviously, an ion cannon or a heavy rail gun can fit in here, depending on the pattern you use. But, you know, as you can see, the individual parts all have shaped ports, so they fit in, obviously. So you have a innie and an outie, and the innie and outie match together. It's amazing. So you also know that some places have these circular ports. These are for gubbins, which come in the bags that I showed you before. They go there. So you have places for dorsal equipment like radar dishes, which he has, which look amazing. So why don't I actually build one? I got glue. Also, another important thing, I'm actually looking at these. There's not a lot of flash. So usually when you play around with 3D printers, you have these little spikes, you have these little, you know, just like in the olden days when you pull stuff off of a sprue, or you have the old pewter, you have flash. There's not a lot of flash on these. I'm not even really, even as I look off, not through the camera, I'm not seeing any, you know, support spikes anywhere. These look just ready to go together. They just look ready to just plug together nicely, and that's amazing. I love that. I can just probably just, you know, get a nice happy little connection there. It's not a perfect fit, but you know, that's still not a, it's again not a perfect fit, but then again, you can't expect perfection every time. So maybe a little filing there to get that to rest nicely. Let's check the other side. Yeah, the metal ships were absolutely a nightmare to put together. That is 100% true. For anybody who put together the Tau, the original Tau stuff, they were hell to assemble. But yeah, oh, look at how snug that. This, I know you can't necessarily tell, but this fits together very snugly in its position. You can also tell which side is the top and the bottom. The bottom has less detail. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but that fits in super, super snug. I would highly recommend Tenkut. If you're using classic Tau, these are definitely better than the forge, not the forge old ones. Those are too pretty for anyone. But these are definitely better than the old pewter minis. So definitely have a look in the description of the stream. Look at the order form. You have the email for Deadly Caffeine, and you can order these. And they are also very reasonably priced. So I'm actually gonna get some glue on, got some glue action going, and actually assemble some stuff. You can all judge me for my glue skills if you like, that's fine. Here we go. Don't need a lot, but then again, I usually use too much anyway because I'm paranoid. Okay, so this is the top, I believe. Yep. Is that it? Nope, that's the... I'm trying to remember which way is the top way. Oh, right, the top is the one with the actual gun bays on it. Oh, no, it can't be, because it doesn't fit that way. All right, I'm figuring it out. It's been a while. So, nice, snug fit. You have our the messenger setup right here. Good snug fit, feels good to the hand, feel good to put it together. You have the front end looking really solid. Yeah, prow guns are underslung. Thank you. Yeah. All right, so obviously you have here bays. Now the bays that fit in here, you have your grav hook. Now I wanted to show you this grav hook tip fits very snugly. Oop, almost balanced it, but it fits very, very snugly if you want to model these actually on your grav hook, and it looks really cool when it does. So your orcas can fit really nicely on these grav hook posts. They go right in there, as you can see, and it feels good to put them in there. It's a good, solid design, even if it doesn't balance. It doesn't. Yeah, you can. Yeah, knock Deadly Caffeine for points for not perfectly balancing the center of gravity. We will all judge him. So here's where the engine bay goes. As you can see, you're also framing the bays themselves for what you're going to be putting in there for either your gun or your grav hooks. Now, there's also other alternative. He has custom and specialized designs of his own. He has a design of the merchant that actually has gravitic launchers if you want to play that game. He has basically 3 separate kinds of bays. He has a cargo bay. He has a, come on, get in. Give me some glue. Give me some glue. There we are. So put it in there, give it a good amount. And we put it together gently, kindly and gently, and we hold it together. But as you can see, this merchant is about, I would say, actually I have a on-sprue Chaos Cruiser. I'll be able to actually put it. These are obviously larger than the original things. Oh, this one has another print failure here. So I'm going to probably have to let Caffeine know that I have a couple of print failures, which is okay. I really don't mind that much. It doesn't hurt my feelings. And because the glue is still soft, I can probably just pop this off. Yep. Pop that off and put a different one on that doesn't have the problem. But yeah, definitely let him know if you have any print failures. He will absolutely let you know. You can make the argument for battle damage. I'm not a fan of battle damage. I like my ships to look fancy. But yeah, you just gotta squeeze them together and let the super glue do its job, which is to say it'll only ever adhere to your hands and never to the plastic. So I'm just waiting. So yeah, Technud, you have 2 explorers, 3 heroes, 4 merchants, 3 defenders, 3 messengers, all originals, but no orcas. These orcas are definitely better. I can tell you that right now. They are better on every... Oh, yeah. No, this is right. Yeah, and I'm sure, Technud, since you have those, I'm sure you can recognize the difference in quality. And these are also so much cheaper than trying to get the old metal ones, by the way. It is. Yeah, I have a paper towel. Let me quickly. Oh, there's actually a paper towel right inside this one. Actually, let's get a paper towel to gently remove some of that glue. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes if you put just a little too much glue on there, it will not set properly. Yeah. Now, the Explorers are significantly better. I would say that they're definitely bigger. They're absolutely bigger than the old Merchant. Sorry, not the Explorer, the Merchant. The old Merchant is definitely smaller than this one. I'm not making any argument there. It's, oh, geez, this thing just doesn't want to set together. The eternal crisis of superglue. It never sets when you want it to. They're bigger. The guns are swappable, so you're able to put in actual ion cannons if you wanted the ion cannon variant of the God, this thing's just being a jerk. Hot superglue action. Of course, it is more than happy to set. Oh, geez. Yeah, the fact that you even have to do that level of work on the old ones is just, to me, makes them in our illustrious modern era of 3D printing, just not worth it anymore. I firmly believe that now that we are in a superior era of miniature construction, we should actually, appreciate what we have and not have to worry about pinning the damn things anymore. Hold and hope, absolutely. This is actually really good super glue. I don't know why it's not playing ball right now. It just doesn't want to play ball. Hold on a second. This is actually really, really good super glue. I don't know why it's not behaving. I think I know the reason. The post may be a little long. Hold on while I adulter this post just a hair. The glory of an X-Acto. Yeah, that fits much snugger now. Yeah, look at that. The post was just a little long. Well, this is definitely, see, look at that. Just a little bit of more appropriate, a little shave down to the post, and it works just fine. Okay, so we have our gun bays. Let me just slide this back into view. Our gun bays, and we have our grav hooks. So this is another beautiful thing that Kafeine did. As you can see, the gun bays have these posts here that correspond to the posts here. So we simply can put it in there. Nice and snug, and it looks pretty flush with the Mini. There's no issue with having to bend things back in to position. I actually would say, like, I understand that a lot of people probably already have theirs, but these are just so much better looking than the old ones that I would replace them. There's a lot of benefits to replacing it with a new resin Mini. Look at that. Look at how easy that went together. Look at that. That just slid in and is nice and snug. Just look at that. It's perfect. That's painfully good. Also, another cool. So hold on. I was about to go on to another cool thing, but of course it flies off. Get back in there, you. Get back in there. Behave yourself, engine. Behave. Yeah, but yeah, gun bays that go in with no complaints, that right there is enough of a reason to get these minis. But another thing you can do if you want, if you already have them and you don't have a Korovesh fleet, is you can get these and have them represent your Korovesh fleet. They're going to look different enough. I hate using Accelerator. Accelerator actually harms the bond and makes the bond weaker. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, dang you, engine. You'll have to wait. But notice how it fell and they didn't fall out. They're good. They're firm in there. Look at that. Symmetry. Symmetry! I get this frickin' engine back in. Stop being a jerk, engine. Ah, now the bridge is being a jerk. Everything's being a jerk. What I should do is have it just sit there. Yeah, and these have perfect symmetry. That alone makes this worth buying over replacing your metal ones. Look at that symmetry. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to gingerly set this down. And, of course, it still continues to fall apart. Come on, get back on there. There we go. I'm going to let that sit there and consider its sins for a little bit. But as you can see, beautiful symmetry. I'm going to slide you back into view, hopefully without having you fall apart. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Beautiful symmetry. The grav hooks are going to go in here and here. And with that, all we have to do is add gubbins. So we have the 4 gun turrets. We have, and these 3 dorsal positions. So what I like to do is put a gun here, a dome here, and a radar dome here, and a sensor dome there, or a shield dome there, to represent its one lowly, pathetic little shield. But as you can see, it looks great. Now let me get some comparison ships. I actually have this bag of, this old bag that's just a frickin' Chaos Cruiser on a sprue. There you go. It's big. So here you go. Top-down view of a Chaos sprue. It's about the size of a Chaos Cruiser. But again, it doesn't mean that it's... Again, the Tau early ships are meant to be chunky and inefficient. So it doesn't really necessarily matter that it doesn't look that good. Hold on 1 second. Will I get another ship? There we go. Here is a unpainted, unfortunately, Demiurge Bastion. I can actually show a painted ship. Okay. And here is a Vanguard miniature, standard Imperial cruiser, a Novan specifically. So as you can see, these merchants are pretty dang big, and big and chunky too. There are, of course, bays for cargo, if you want to use it as a cargo ship. Okay, let's see if that's a little bit of not touching it helped it set, so I can get these bays on and we can... So I wanted to talk about another topic. Look at this. Dink, goes in, no muss, no fuss. Which is too much detail. I was talking with a couple of guys on the Discord server about the Soulforge Studio orcs, and some of them were concerned about this ship potentially having just too much detail for painting. And I would say no. I think these things have just the amount of detail. Oh, look at that. And there we are. The baseline ship is all assembled. Look at that beautiful symmetry. It looks good. It looks like a good industrial ship designed for a task that it is not meant, that doing a task that it wasn't designed to do. Okay, so let me get a little more of these fun little bits out. So we'll need a dome. We'll need a radar dish, because giant radar dishes are awesome. Radar dish, and I was gonna put a gun there. Yes, Tacknut, there is a link in the description of this live stream to the order form, and you can look at all the stuff that he currently has to order. He is going to be adding more stuff So just look in the description. You should be able to find it. Okay, adding a little glue there, and we're going to put on our sensor tower or radar dish. And as you can see, it went in nice and smoothly. There's no issue with it being the post being too big or too small. Look at that. Look at that. That's perfect setting. Right off the bat, perfect set. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's get this shield dome onto the rear. And this just goes to show the incredible skill that Deadly Caffeine has. So now it has a little shield dome there. Very nice. Let's put some guns. I like guns. Do you guys like guns? Oh, shoot. Almost forgot. The bridge. Gotta put a bridge on. And again, he sent me bazillions of bits. So here's our bridge. Well, let me put the guns on first and then make your judgment. But I actually like them. I mean, if you look at the old ones, the guns are just domes with sticks poking, kind of poking out. I really don't like them. They don't look Tau-like. There we go. Look at that. Got some glue on the finger. But yeah, look at that. We now have a bridge. We now have a ship. That looks so good. So much better. So the bridge fits on nice and snugly. There's no wiggle room. It just sits nicely. So, guns. So let's actually put some guns on and see if TechNut is right. Let's see if he's right. Because we're going to need 5 guns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I'm always the kind of person that likes to put more guns on than there are, just to really bring the point home. So we have 5 ports. We have 4 here on the side and 1 right there. Actually, I probably should not put a gun port there because it will look like he's about to shoot his own bridge off. So I'll figure something else to put there. Oh, and plus the underslung guns. That's right. So we just add a little glue and we set it in. And again, it goes in super smoothly and super nicely. The only thing I will say, these are fragile. So make sure you get extra bits because they will break on you if you if you are violent with them. Okay, here's another gun boy. Let's set it down. Yeah, because it just sets right in nicely. As you can see, they're actually offset in verticality as well. So you kind of get that classic battleship feel to them. Let's just try to rotate you just a hair so you're nice and front facing. So let's keep building. Let's put more batteries on it. And of course, the bay is universal for both ion cannon. Well, the bay hole is actually universal. If you wanted to be like, I want nothing but sensor towers, you could do that too. So I'm just going to set that there. Make sure it has a nice orientation because Tau don't know how to fight on the side. There we go. Look at that. See all but shoot nothing configuration. Yes, very advanced, very Tau. But look at that. Look at that. Looks really, really good. I love that look. Yes, the guns are big, but they're kind of meant to be. You also get, look at that, a little bit of flash. Dink, dink, problem solved. We're almost done with this build. then we'll move on to the hero. And then, of course, the final and glorious explorer. So set that in there underneath. Looks great. Just gotta make sure it's not too... Oop. And, of course, the bridge falls off. Yay! Thank you, Dumpy. Come on, get back into position. Oh, this thing hates me. Come on, there we go. It is fighting me every step of the way. Well, actually, this is more convenient because now I can put the last turret on easily. All right, just gonna change that orientation just here. Yeah, okay. And get the glue in. Yeah, I can't express enough about Kafeine's attention to detail on the universality of all of these ports. They all fit in they fit together extraordinarily well. All of the little gun ports are universal, so they can use. This is true. You could herald your planet killer at the wall, but then, of course, your landlord or your wife would probably murder you for putting a giant hole in in the plaster. So, I would not recommend using your planet killer as a throwing weapon. Why are you not behaving yourself? Excuse me a moment. There we go. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. I wasn't going to ask, Techna. Not my place, but I understand. And for what it's worth, I hope you are able to find happiness once again. Because frankly, I love my wife so much. So here we go. Almost completely built. What can I put in that bay? What's something fun that could go in there? I could put another dome. Domes are fun. Domes are cool. You know, something that won't shoot off my own bridge. Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was another option. Leave it to... Looks like he added in, as it flies away into the ether. Dang it, small bits and small holes. Story of my life. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Oh, with the exception of an unruly prow, a fully constructed merchant. As you can see, it went together, didn't take a lot of time to put together. All of the bays, except for that frickin' prow, which is giving me grief, went in together very smoothly. It looks fantastic. I love it. Okay, that's the merchant. I give this merchant an easy, vastly superior to its predecessor in absolutely every way. The merchant, but then again, pretty much all of these are superior, but all of the ports fit together supremely well. But now we're going to go on to the hero. Okay, so the hero, the original and standard actual combat vessel of the old fleet. As I am a little more gentle with opening it. There we go. Come on. Kafeine went a little overboard with construction as usual. So we have a central post. We have the best part of it, which is the engine. Now, in the original Hero, the engine was awful. But look at this chonky boy. Look at that. That looks so much better. This is actually inspired by the Corellian Corvette in Star Wars 1, according to Kafeine. So we have a mess of bits for guns. We have bridges. What else? Ooh. That's exactly the design that he intended, Sigurov. And here we have our bridge. It's a lot more sleek, but obviously you can see gun bays and the prow. Carrier bays. Here's your carrier bay. Gun bays, always important. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, okay, so we can now actually get started. Now this goes together. This central post, I believe, is identical to that of the Merchant. But as you can see, the engine bay is significantly larger. And God, it fits together so much better. But look at that chunky boy. Exactly, it begs for re-break for nobody. I wish I had that kind of painting talent. I really don't. But if you ever, TechNet, if you go and look at your hero, you'll realize if you just look at it, how anemic the engine looks compared to the rest of the ship. So I'm just going to slide you on right now, since you have such a snug fit. Ta-da! Look at that. Beautiful. Marvelous. So here we go with the hero. You have that beautiful tabletop Tau-looking grav accelerator, which is something that I really appreciate. Helps you know which way goes up. You have the bay on top for where the actual bridge goes. Looks like... Yeah, but at that size, you probably wouldn't even necessarily be able to read it. And where the hell would you put it? That is one thing I will say. There's not a lot of negative space on these minis for you to place decals. So if you're a decal person, these are probably not the best chip for you. Look at that beautiful thing. Went together so easy. And look, the central spine is not warped off to the left. Can we all take a moment to appreciate that? Okay. So, if I remember correctly, we have the placement of our... Actually, this goes over here. Yes. So we have our gun bays that go in front and the carrier bays that go behind. Look at that. So these will be our lances. These will be up here. Those will be our rail cannons. And behind are going to be our launch bays. So let's put them together. So, there we go. Fantastic. Look how easy these things just slide in. I can't express how easy it is to build these. Just thunk and it goes in and it's good and snug. Excellent precision by Deadly Caffeine. Also, the detail is beautiful. You can also kind of see how Games Workshop, back when they actually cared, because this is based on the Games Workshop design, that they were intending on having a lot more Tau options for their ships because they had their own individual installable bays, just like Chaos and Imperial Navy. Look at that. Hardly any effort, except for that when it fell out. Let's all make fun of this carrier bay. Shame on the carrier bay. Okay, here we go. Get in there. But nice and symmetrical. There doesn't look like it's aside from that one carrier bay, but nice and symmetrical. It looks continuous. There's no giant gaps in the bays. It looks better designed. Overall, it looks better than the old Hero. And this engine kind of brings it together. It kind of makes it look really nice. It makes the ship look like an actual, combat ship, as opposed to a lumbering piece of pewter junk in space. Not exactly as symmetrical as I'd like. What's going on here? Is it the engine that's kind of off kilter? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. So we have the three spinal ports, the bridge. We have gun bays there and there, and there and there for the front. The bridge bit, I think I mentioned that, and of course our 4 ion cannons. So let's grab some bits. You can grab a Okay, so unlike the Merchant, this actually has a double bridge. So it's going to make that bridge section look a lot more impressive than it originally is. And it has a post here that fits in right there. So it's very well stabilized, but it will take up one of our fun little dorsal ports. So let's get the glue on and let's set it in. Ooh, come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Fits in very nice and snug. Gives that bridge a little bit more of a impressive feel to it. Look at that. Fantastic. Nice double up bridge. Makes it look really, really cool. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's put some guns on. Now, obviously, if I wanted to make this the battery variant of this ship, I would just be filling everything with guns and no ion cannons. But I'm going to make this a standard hero. So we're going to have ion cannons and batteries. And again, I can't express how nice it is to have just a nice, easy fit-in procedure, fit-in post for these things. They fit in nice and snug. You have a good amount of time before the glue dries to get them into the orientation that you want. There we go. They click nicely into place. Look at that. And because Deadly Caffeine knows what he was making, he actually made it so these could swing out almost 90 degrees if you wanted to pose it in that position. Look at that. Freaking gorgeous. Now the underbelly. Now the cool thing about these is that the bays are just one continuous standard sized hole through, so glue in the hole is usually enough to let you get both gun bays in. There we go. Gun. All right. Now ion cannon time. Come on, Mr. Ion Cannon, where are you? There you are. How do you represent your admirals and rerolls on the battlefield? Generally, I don't. I just I inform my opponent of which ships are the flagship and which ships have the any sort of ancillary character on them, like a Chaos Lord or an Orc War Boss. Yeah, noting it on the fleet list is usually the best way to do it. Okay, so ion cannons. Now I'm going to try to get as good a view of these ion cannons as I can. They're super tiny, but as you can see, they actually look like ion cannons. See? Try to get it to a better orientation. Yep, they actually look like ion cannons. Check it out. You can actually identify it as opposed to it just being a dome turret. So let's get you onto the ship. Okay. And we are now adding on the weapon that basically invalidates the lunar. Let's all be proud of the Tau and Games Workshop for not being consistent in their lore. If you listen now, you can hear the disembodied screams of Imperial fanboys. Well, if you could get a little miniature of like a little naval commander hat and just set it next to the ship, that's a way to represent your rerolls. I can appreciate that kind of WYSIWYG desire. Look at that. Actual ion cannons. Check it out. Big boy guns. Now, another cool thing, if you prefer ion cannons to be in a different position, you can put them on the prow. You can replace these 4 here with the ion cannons and put the batteries here. You have that option. You have the choice. You can choose. All right, but we need gubbins. We need some sensor bays. If I can find which bag they were in. There we are. And I need a dome. That is true, but again, it's a matter of style, and you can, and just like in the good old days of 40K, you can build these things any way you damn well want. But yes, it is true. The original profile does have it as in the prow. That is true. So we now have a sensor dish. Look at that. That looks so good. Look at that. Make sure that's nice and oriented. Now, again, this can be in any orientation. You would expect this thing to maybe rotate a bit. Who knows? But look at that. Now, there's one criticism that I will bring up. This is the first criticism I have of the entire design. I have a post here that's too small to really put anything in there. Okay? I can put stuff there, but I just don't know what to put there because I don't have any bits that correspond to that size. That's the only criticism I have of this mini. Otherwise, it is better in every way and in every measure to its predecessor. Now let's get some comparison miniatures. Here it is next to the Messenger. As you can see, the Messenger is a little more petite. Doesn't quite, really all of that length comes out of the engine, but that's okay. It looks great. So yeah, Merchant, sorry. Sigurath is gonna shame me for life. Okay, here's a Chaos Cruiser, or at least the upper hull, which is enough to give you an idea of scale. So this is a little bit smaller, but Chaos Cruisers were always a little bit more petite. Here is a Vanguard Studios Imperial Cruiser. I know it's solid black, my apologies, but you can get an idea of the length. They are about equidistant in length. Let me get one more ship to compare it to. Yeah, why not? And a Eldar Eclipse. So these are chunky boys, but that's okay. That's part of the nature of the Tau in this era. A lot of size, but not necessarily a lot of effectiveness. But as you can see, the detail is far superior to the old Tau ships. The engine looks so much better. These actually look like good, dedicated, and efficient warships. I love this look. So that's your hero. Now we're going to go on to the real good one, the real fancy ship. The one that we've all been waiting for. Okay. Oop. So as you can see, these do not come in a mess of bits like the other one does. Let's pull it apart. Here we are. Look at that. Behold the Explorer. Now, I will tell you now, this is bigger. This is significantly bigger than the standard Explorer. This is much larger. But that's a good thing because, as you can see, it's chunkier. It's not going to fall apart as much. Games Workshop. And it's one solid piece. Look at that spine. Look how thick that is. It's not just a spindly little piece of misery. They built this thing to be... The guy made it to be chunky, and he made it to look good. And it does look really, really good. Just got to pull out all of the bits. So... your bridge is another one of these nice. So the funny thing is you have a multiple stage bridge. And to figure out which way it's supposed to go. Oh, right, because it has a bit for like this little sensory zone there. I have to remember where all this stuff goes. So there's a ton of bits that come with these. Oh, it also has like little itty bitty ships to fly with it. Does that look familiar? Does anyone want a couple of Carillion Corvettes for scale? By the way, thank you so much. I want to thank again Deadly Caffeine because he sent me additional little antennae bits, which are notorious for breaking. So these little antennae go on the engine up here. Just trying to figure out where everything is supposed to go. Oh, and critically, here in the... oh, this is not the right one. That's... so the reason why I have two, and this is very important, let me actually pop this one out of its holding, is this is the other one. See these ports? They are for heavy rail they are for gravitic launchers. So, if I slide these in, because it's a nice snug fit, we actually have our good little bucktooth. Well, I figure he'd be willing as long as you give him money, Techno. But look at that. An actual Explorer with actual grav launchers in the prow. Yeah, but I know a lot of people that do. I know a lot of people that do take that variant and are very happy with that variant. So these, as everything falls out, but that's okay. Go here. I'm not, these give a nice little amount of detail to the bottom. Flash, so that kind of slides in there. So, actually, I think this one goes in the... let's see. Got to figure out the center of gravity on this thing. So it's what, about here-ish? Oh, what the grav launches are really good for is, having a overabundance of torpedoes. So let's start putting this bad boy together. What do you say? How about we assemble? Let's put the lower underslung bays together. I mean, given how slow these suckers are, I'm not sure that's much of a concern, Sig. They're not really going to be able to get to the enemy that often. Okay. That fits in nicely. Again, that super delightful and snug build together is universal. Okay, get our little cluster of doodads there. But look, you have this, all of these beautiful levels of detail. All they had to do, all they had to do was just make it the neck thicker, and it looks so much better. And of course, look, wings that aren't warped. Let's all just quietly admire that for a little bit, right? I'm trying to remember what goes here. I know something does. But also, if you do decide to turn this thing into this variant, it comes with these bits. These serve as the missile storage bays. Give me one moment, everybody. I am checking something. There we go. Yeah, again, benefit of this, they're not warped. Nothing here is warped. Aha, there is a bit. I have to figure out where it is. In this giant morass of, there they are. Yes. I think that's it. No, that's a separate. Is that a different bit? It looks like it is. I have to search through this giant morass of bits that it was so nice to send me. It's so many of them. They look identical, but they are not identical. Okay, those are for the hero. It'd be funny if he actually forgot to send me certain bits. He may very well have. Because there is supposed to be another another form of bridge that fits in there, and I don't see it in any of the bags he sent me. There are similar ones, but not the actual one. Give me a moment while I double and triple check. Because I don't want to make Caffeine look like too much of a fool, but there's a lot of bits involved. I'm not going to be too upset if some things were not sent in again, the giant hash of all of these different bits. It does appear that he missed some parts, and that's okay. I'll just have to throw him a message and let him know that I am missing something, but we can put the rest of it together with no concern. So let's build the rest of it. I have a lot of other fleets, and I'll be happy to show you them here in just a moment. Just let me get this bad boy at least partially. But actually, you know what? I am going to pause on building these because I think you've seen the size and the really important element of this ship and its size. And I don't want to put anything together if I don't have all of the bits present, because I'll forget, and my memory is absolute dog water. So I'm going to put a pause on that, but I think you guys get the idea enough of the level of quality of these ships. Let me quickly just compare these sizes. You know, these battleships are big and they are very chunky. So here we have the Hero next to it, and finally the Merchant. Let me grab one of the escorts. Pop that out. Here's a Defender, an Orca, and there's basically the foundation of your fleet. Everything is, well, and of course the I'm leaving this messenger in the bag because it has all of the bits for both messengers. There's your Tau fleet. The whole thing, and it looks fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. The detail is phenomenal. Here, yes. But also, I love the engine of the Explorer as well. So, okay, well, since I also have the price list up, because I had to make a quick comparison of what's going on here on the Mini, let me tell you what the prices are real quick. Okay, so your Explorers, both versions, are 35 euros. The Hero is 20 euros. The Traveler, the Merchant, is 17 euros on all of its varieties, with the exception of the Hauler variant, which is only 11 euros. 4 escorts of the Orca are 10 euros. 3 of the Defenders are 12 euros. And a single messenger is 8 euros. The cargo ships, a pack of 2, is 7 euros. And the tiny little alien escort dudes, those guys, a pack of 2 is 6 euros. So they're not the cheapest things on Earth. Oh, and he also has bit modules, if you're missing any. But he also has something that he didn't send me, which I'm going to be critical of him for. He has defenses. He has defense sats for the Tau. So a pack of 3 of those is 4 euros. Anyway, since TechNut just asked me, hey, what other fleets do I have? I might as well show you. So hold on a second while I disconnect the power and get it off my tripod. Give me a moment. So over here, sorry about that, we have I have to get a good amount of detail because I have, unfortunately, orientation is locked, doesn't let me switch orientation. We have my Corsair Eldar, original metal and resin from Forge World. We have my burgeoning Demiurge list. One day I'll finish painting it. We have an entire row of orcs that have to be sent off and painted. They're big. Soulforge Studios did not screw around. Here are my Grey Knight Space Marines. All of these are, with the exception of the Strike Cruisers, are Soulforge Studios. Strike Cruisers are the original Forge World. I got my Nikasar Douse here. I'm going to be sending off my Imperial Navy to be painted. Not all of it's here. Here is the 3-up Chaos Cruiser, just sitting there in its pewter glory. It'll never be painted, because if I did, I would have a secret cabal of BFG players come and kill me. Over here is the Demiurge, not the Demiurge, the Diasporix / Chaos list, all of them. Here is the Lodolacumus fleet, done by Wapple. I'm sorry that the video quality is dreadful. And here are my Tau Forge World ships. And that's all the fleets I have. And I am just I just ordered a Dark Eldar fleet. and that'll be here ideally probably next week. So yeah, that's all the stuff that I have, and a lot of them are going to be sent off to Wapple in order for him to paint, so I can help keep supporting him as he recovers from the loss of his wife. It's a portobello mushroom, cute. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this review video. I would say, beyond the missing bits and the one thing on the hero, that one port that doesn't have any explanation, that one right there. These are better in every way to the Games Workshop ships. If you are looking for a Tau fleet, 100% buy this fleet. This fleet looks better, it goes together better, it looks better in every way. They are easier to assemble. They're more sturdy. They don't break as often. It is a long list of reasons why this is just a better in every way setup. I highly, highly recommend them on every level. Now, again, for everyone else, the order form is down in the description. Go ahead and download it and send him an email and start getting your ships. This man deserves our money. I have been haranguing him for over a year. Kafeine is based in France. But I have been haranguing him for over a year to get me a price list so I could do this properly. Finally, he has come through. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all again in the next video. Have a great day.